And joining us this morning is Fox News military contributor, co-author of Without Mercy, Colonel David Hunt. Colonel, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, first, can you characterize the situation right now in North Korea? Can the U.S. protect our allies in the region from what seems to be a deepening, worsening story coming out of North Korea?
In my opinion, having served there 3 times right after Vietnam, the threat from North Korea has gotten worse as weapons get better. The threat is 30 miles south of the demilitarized zone that splits the 2 countries, North and South Korea, sits the capital of Korea, Seoul. It's 20 million people. That's 30 miles from the largest concentration of artillery in the world. North Korea has, sitting at the DMZ. So we're not able to put some kind of a screen over Seoul. So military options with North Korea have very seldom ever been on the table as far as a first strike. It's a very difficult place. The only access seems to be China. The latest iteration of Kim that we've got running North Korea, his people are absolutely starving. It's very difficult to get at them economically because they don't care. They are going to get a nuclear delivery capability because it's not hard to do, and they get relevance. So we're really, the world's hands are tied unless you want to do something directly at North Korea. It's a very hard place to spy against or to use special operations. It's a real problem, and we haven't done anything well in the last 20 years, but I don't see any way, unless we get China directly involved, for the other allies to affect North Korea.
So then the U.S. shouldn't do anything? What's the answer then?
Well, the U.S. we have been doing things since the Korean War. We're there. We've got a serious commitment to South Korea. We help them economically. And if North Korea shoots at South Korea, the Americans will support them. We'll be at war with North Korea. That has not changed. You can reiterate that policy. But no one's been able to put pressure on North Korea since the Korean War. And the only one that gets affected is China. And again, 30 miles south is Seoul, Korea. That is a huge target and indefensible right now because of the capability of North Korea. So it's a very, very tough nut to crack. But they're going to get a atomic weapon. They've got one. They've blown it up a couple of times underground, but they're going to get a delivery capability. So I'm not good at the politics part, but I don't understand what the new Secretary of State thinks he's going to be able to do to put pressure on a country that hasn't felt pressure in 50 years.
Wow.
Colonel Hunt, it's Dagen McDowell. So good to see you. What about China, though?
Good morning.
What could we do to push China's hand on this? Is there anything?
Your expertise on this, Dagen, is economics. The thing that can move China is economically. The problem with that is that much of the economy in China, as you know, is run by the government, specifically the military. Chinese military owns a huge amount of the businesses in China. So the way you can get at that, a lot of people have tried, is to move China to get North Korea under control economically, with economics in China. Pardon me. Past that, it's very, very difficult because no one thinks, as we're sitting here, that the Chinese have much of an influence on this particular leader in North Korea. And he just threw 2 missiles into the Sea of Japan last week. He blew up 2 nukes underground about 6 years ago under Bush 43. So it's a very difficult problem without China in the middle of it, and I mean in the middle of Pyongyang in North Korea. There's not much can be done. Our influence is probably only going to be economically through China.
You mentioned that Seoul, a city of 20 million people, is indefensible, that we can't erect any kind of shield. And I was wondering why we couldn't do something like the Iron Dome. In other words, why aren't we able to obstruct a North Korean air attack?
Yeah. We have U.S. Air Force there. It's the distance. 30 miles, is a 5 minutes, 2 minutes by jet. We could do an Iron Dome. The Iron Dome is excellent. It's being used in Israel. The problem with these things is the sheer volume that North Korea has, No, we're not going to be able to protect 100% of this. You're trying to shoot a missile down with another missile. It works. It has worked well, but it's not a perfect system. With 20 million people, it's impossible. A lot of people talk about this. North Korea holds South Korea hostage because of the distance. We are committed there with U.S. soldiers in a U.S. headquarters. So if North Korea does move against South Korea, we're at war with North Korea.
Colonel
but
Hunt, this is
to
Arthur
go
Brooks.
and then say, well, we can affect it. No.
Here's Arthur
we haven't
Brooks.
been able to.
Here's Arthur Brooks.
Colonel Hunt, this is Arthur Brooks from AEI. I think that a lot of people who are watching us around the country, I mean, they've heard about North Korea. It's a big threat. North Korea is a terrible crisis, et cetera, et cetera. But you say, every year it seems to kind of stay the same way, and after a while, people get fatigued from feeling afraid of it. So tell me, what's your worst sort of paranoid scenario about what could happen? What's the worst thing that's actually going to happen if we stay in the status quo and we don't take care of this problem? What are we going to see when catastrophe actually strikes?
Two things. They actually do a preemptive strike on Seoul, Korea, which is devastating. These are very tightly packed in, 20 million people in that. And at the same time, they've developed the capability to hit the U.S. with the nuke, that they could go both ways. That would be the worst-case scenario. This is a very crazy man. If you're arrested in North Korea, you're arrested as an individual, your entire family, your whole lineage goes to jail with you.
Wow.
This is a very, very bad place. It is very, very hard to figure out and affect, but that would be mine. Attacking Seoul at the same time they attack us.
This is just extraordinary what's happening right now.